hold that position. Lock and hold. You know how I pray? When I have a need, I say, Lord, this ain't good for you. And the needs keep being met. You don't pray for your sake. I have a plan, he says, for you. A plan to prosper you, not to harm you. A plan to give you what? Hope. And I gotta make sure you make it to the destiny. What's the destiny? The destiny of a seed is to become a tree with fruit. I gotta make sure you make it to the fruit-bearing stage. I have to make sure you make it to your end because my name is on the line. I will succeed because it's good for God.
One great entrepreneur said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risks, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You showed up so that you can stand and say, I did this. I did this. This is my dream.
Do not stroll, do not walk, do not meander, do not wander, but roll after your destiny.
Run after your destiny. Winners win and losers lose. We see peace. We see love. We see family. We see possibility.
Look at this next verse, Ecclesiastes 10. It says, if the axe is dull and its edge is unsharpened, then much strength is needed. You ever try to cut a tree down with a dull axe? A dull axe is hard work. If the axe is dull, much strength is needed. But I like the next statement. But with skill, success comes quickly.
Charles Udall said, in life you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems.
I looked up the word skill, the Hebrew word. It means knowledge of laws. A skillful person is not a person who got a PhD. A skillful person is a person who knows the laws. I've been working so hard trying to get my life right. I've been working so hard. God said, look, you kicking life. You cussing at life. You need skill. Look at that verse again. If the axe is dull, that means you dull. Success is not luck. You got to make sure you keep obeying laws.
Have you been thinking about getting into Forex trading? Forex trading opens up a world of opportunity for those who know how to do it properly. You can experience financial freedom and reap tremendous rewards for your trading skills. Unfortunately, many programs make big promises and throw students into the trading market without the proper knowledge and expertise to succeed. Fortunately, there is a solution. Great White FX Academy is the best place to start your Forex trading journey with the tools, resources, and education necessary to help you thrive in the market. Great White FX is an online Forex training platform that provides technical training that will help you succeed. It is of the utmost importance to have a proper qualitative education to participate in Forex trading, and that is exactly what Great White FX focuses on. You can reach us on Facebook at Great White FX and Forex Educational Academy, on Instagram at Great White FX, on Twitter at Great White FX, or call us at 234-803-930-61888.
Hello, all, good evening. Hello all, good evening. If you can hear me clearly and see my screen, please type in yes. Good evening, you're welcome to today's currency review for the 20th of September 2019. If you can hear me clearly, please type in yes. Okay, so for those of you still interested, the classes will be starting on the 23rd of September. That's the second course of the 6 weeks intensive masterclass for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So it's basically for all tiers. If you feel your trading is not going the way you want it to go, this class will definitely help you get an edge, most especially if you're having challenges with consistency. This is some of the things you learn: how to trade your charts without any indicator. You learn how to trade plain support and resistance, institutional order entry, and most importantly, you learn how to develop a trader's mindset, which is what will hold everything together. So without wasting much of your time, let's get into our business for today. So always take your time to go through this. It's important that you get an understanding of what you're about to get into. So let's start off with our chart. So for today, as always, we'd always start with the dollar index. But before that, we like to go through our calendars to find out if we have any planned news updates for tomorrow. So tomorrow being the 20th, tomorrow be, okay, I'm still far behind. I was wondering. Tomorrow being the 20th, we don't have much slated tomorrow. There is not much slated tomorrow. Tomorrow is, apart from card news at 2:30 p.m., there's just no major news events today. So we could say tomorrow is almost risk-free in regards to news release. So let's start on. So looking at our chart, sorry about yesterday. I couldn't carry out the review yesterday. I had a little bit of network issues. My backup network service was suspended, so I had to go and resolve it. So there was no need trying to do a Zoom review when I know I will not be able to make sense to anybody. So let's start off with the dollar index as always. Once again, I apologize for that. It was for reasons beyond my control. So looking at the dollar index, we can say the dollar index is almost like in a range. Let's look at it from a daily intraday point of view. So looking at the dollar index, let me get rid of this. It's almost like it's a range. There's something here. There's something here. This is the top zone. This is the top zone. And then there is something here. This is the lower zone. So that's it for the dollar index. We're looking at mainly, it all looks like a range, as you can see, but this trend line still seems to be holding. So let me extend this trend line into the future properly so that we could be aware of it. You could either use it like this or you leave it previous loop. So, but as it's moving, we update it. So I think we have another trend line from here to this point. So this is what we have on the dollar index. We have slightly bullish to more of a sideways movement. So this is your top resistance, this is your bottom resistance. You play it accordingly. So the next pair we'll be looking at is gold. The next pair we'll be looking at is gold. So go down to gold. Gold. Well, no. Well, gold spiked below this area yesterday, taking out all stops and pending orders, and then rallied before rallying. So now for gold, we can say that there's a resistance zone up here. There's a resistance zone up here. That's it for gold. There's a resistance zone up here on gold. And let's not forget this falling trend line. So let's extend it a bit. Let's extend this trend line a bit so that we have a proper idea. So this is basically what we have. Then we have a smaller trend line running from this point to this point. So gold basically, we could say, is ranging, as you can see. If he goes below this level, that you get a close there, you wait for a retest and they drop lower. But you should be aware of this area. So for now, say gold is slightly sideways, bearish to sideways movement. If you ask me on gold, that's what I would say gold is. Gold has a slightly bearish to sideways movement. That's what I can say for gold. So the next pair we'll be looking at is USD CHF. So looking at the USD CHF, it's still slightly to the top side, as you can see. It tried the top of this range and dropped, found support at this prior area. So this pair still is tilted. Excuse me. This pair is still tilted with a little bit of bullish bias. So you should be wary. Any drop most often will be bought back up. So you need to be aware of that. The pair is still slightly bullish for now. Any drop on it will be an opportunity for the buyers to come in to pick up longs on it. But looking at this pair on the daily, as USD CHF, you see, it seems to be giving us a bearish engulfing on the daily. You can see this is a bearish engulfing on the daily. And if it closes like this, then there is a potential that if it pulls back in here, what you just need to see is price must close on the 4-hour below 99.47. If that does not happen, then what you might see is something like this. If price rallies back up in here and goes into the zone, it may use this lower area as support to pally up. But if this happens, you need to see price drop, retest here, then we know that this bearish engulfing move on the daily might start to take shape. As you can see, price just seems to have spiked above this area and dropped. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the Euro USD. So looking at the Euro USD from an intraday point of view, it's still, the Euro USD still seems to have a bearish bias. But it's more like sideways range, as you can see. You see this falling channel, it's in it. So for this pair, if you ask me, I would say it's more like a sideways movement. As long as this trend line holds, there's a potential that they might take out this falling channel. So what you'll be expecting is something like this. They move higher. But should they take out this channel, you need to wait for a little bit of pullback, then it drop. That's what you have on the Euro USD. The next pair we'll be looking at is the Euro GBP. Looking at the Euro GBP is still bearish. It's still bearish. It's still below this zone. But now the question is, you see this lower channel here? Price tested it yesterday and bounced. Now price is at that level again. They need to take out this level for them to drop completely. So now, let's look at this pair from the daily point of view. Let's see how it closes up. Well, it's bearish. As you can see, it has retested this area and it is dropping, which means that we might see a massive drop on this pair. Let me do something here. I have a little cluster here. So now on this pair, what you'll be waiting for is something like this. That's intraday. A retest of this level and a move lower. But a move lower. But should price close above and retest here, it has the potential to move back up. That's what you need to be aware of. But now it's still in a downtrend. It's still in a downtrend for now. Still clearly in a downtrend. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBP USD. Looking at GBP USD, GBP USD is still very, very bullish. Still pretty much bullish. Any dip on this pair is going to be bought. That's what you need to be aware of. Any pair for now, any drop on this pair might most likely be bought. So we'll look at it from the daily. As you can see, it's trying to close above 25.16, as you can see. Trying to close above 25.16. And should that happen, that will propel it to move higher towards maybe this area. As this area, that's probably towards this area and this area. So let's look at it from my intraday. So that's what we have. If you get a good 4-hour close below 25.02, you need to wait for price to pull back. If it does this, you need to wait for it to pull back to that area to go lower. If not, you might see something like this and then you move higher. But for now, GBP USD still has a more bullish bias than bearish. Although it's at a critical level for now, dips, because it's in an uptrend, dips will be bought. And what are dips? Any pullback. So we need to be aware of that for GBP. Looking at another pair is GBP CHF, and the way it's closed on the daily points to further movement, continuation, bullish continuation. As you can see, this is why I always emphasize that you need to wait at least minimum, you need to wait for a 4-hour close. You see what price did here? If we were looking at this on a lower time frame, you would have fallen for the trap. But like I always say, you need to wait for a break and a retest and a drop. But instead of dropping, it pulled back in. So that would have told you that the move up is continuing. So if we look at this pair on the 4-hour, if we look at it back, we could say that it's still holding its bullish bias, most likely. The only thing that will signal the change is if we get the 4-hour close below 23.69. We get the 4-hour close below 23.69, then we know that the trend will continue down, and this trend line, this support trend line, is taking up. If not, for now, this pair has the bias. It's still bullish, still pretty much bullish for now. There is no sign of reversal from the daily, so it might still continue moving higher. So that's what we need to be aware of. But if you look at it on the daily, you could see that at this area seems to have been a little bit of, well, it's taking it out. It has taken out that area. So we might just see this cluster here. As you can see, this cluster here, it needs to take out this cluster to continue further. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the USD JPY. So looking at the USD JPY, it's still dancing above this trend line that it broke. And for now, this pair is still tilted slightly to the upside. It still has a little bit of bullish bias to the top side. As long as price stays above this first zone, it has a tendency to test this area. So we need to be aware of that. But like I pointed out, this resistance, you see as price ran into it and dropped. This area now has now become another hurdle for price. Price will need to take out that hurdle to continue north. So we have something like this. And this one is up. So looking at this area. So now the game plan is this. Should price run up into this area and get rejected, it might come back down. But if it runs up into this area and uses 108.28 as support, then you may see him do this. That's just what you need to be aware of on this pair. That's just what you need to be aware of on this pair. So the next pair we're looking at is now this USD JPY on the daily he's giving a bearish engulfing. On the daily he's giving a bearish engulfing, which portends to the fact of what I said earlier on. I didn't even notice that you may see a rally to test this area. Should this area hold as resistance, then that will confirm this bearish engulfing of the daily. So you see why it's always good you do what they call a top-down analysis. You try to start from the top to drop down. It helps you plan your trade and you get a better idea of what the overall picture is. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the Euro Yen. Still might try to move higher. There is something here that's giving him a bit of a challenge, as you can see. So let's look at it from an intraday point of view. So basically, for the Euro Yen, this is his litmus test area. 117.89 to 117.55. If it stays above here, it will still continue up. That's just it. So I think we have a slightly new area. I'm picking up another new area. Picking up a new area here. Yes. Picking up a new area here. Picking up a new area here. So this is what we're looking at. So this is first zone, this is the second zone, and then this trend line. Let's not forget this trend line. Although we seem to have a slanting, this is what we have. So if it comes down here and gives you a bullish signal, you can take a long position and look to exit at the top of this trend line. So you have two scenarios: either he comes down here and moves up, or he comes to this place and drops. But should this happen, then you see you move higher. Should this happen, then take a move. So these are the possible scenarios on this pair. So the next pair we'll be looking at is a GBP pound yen. We're looking at the pound yen from the daily perspective. Well, he's still stuck in this area. A slightly long lower wick, which points to slightly more bullish strength. So the next, looking at it intraday, it's still here. This place is now giving us a resistance. So you have two scenarios here. Either he does this and moves higher, or he drops and moves up again, because the bias is still to the downside. But a break below this trend line, you see, wait for a retest and they move lower. Let's not forget this support area here at 133.90. So that's just it for this pair. So the next pair we're looking at is the AUD USD. So looking at the AUD USD is back inside his range. Back inside the range. and see, failed at this area and dropped. Most likely, if you ask me, you could take a short position down here, or better still, you wait for it to pull back up to what's this level? Let me get this level properly. 6822. You wait for it to pull back to 6822, and that's the top of this area. If it pulls back here and gets rejected, then it may drop pretty hard, because on the daily, it's back inside this range. So which means this is a false break. So the next pair we'll be looking at is Euro AUD. So looking at the Euro AUD, you see what I was saying about this trend line. You see the trend line held, and now they're moving back. So he has a bullish bias. This is the storyline, as you can see. Price is holding above this big zone. As long as it stays above there, it has a tendency to move up. So this pair, if you get a dip and it stays above 6180, and you may see it move higher. But this will be your first take profit area. Then if it goes like this, then you know it's going to move higher. That's it for the Euro AUD pair. That's it for the Euro AUD. Still has a bullish bias. It might just dip a bit before moving back up. So the next one we're going to look at is the GBP AUD. GBP AUD is very bullish for now. And see, he's closing above this area. Let's look at it on the daily to see how we're looking like on the daily. Well, he's challenging this high. So on this pair, if you get a pullback, you wait for continuation to continue moving higher. That's just it for this pair. You might just see something like this, then it's going to move back up, because you don't want to be trapped here. It's a prior high here. It might just run, close back below it, dip a bit, then move back up. So the only way, what I will advise you do with this pair is this: you just go to your daily time frame. If you know how to use the fib tool, you start from the bottom and you pick the high, and then you just wait for price retracement. You wait for price retracement. That's just all you do. You wait for price to pull back a bit. And if it pulls back and gives you bullish evidence from any of these zones, then you can take a long position. So, and lastly, the last pair is the USD CAD. So looking at the USD CAD, it's still bullish. I said it, this area, as long as price stays above 1.3229, is going to continue moving higher. You can see. Although it rallied a bit, then dropped. So now it's still finding support here. So, but for now, this man still has, if you see a sell signal, you know that is weakness, and that very soon, if it gets to a support area, the buyers might come in. So that is it for today, the 19th of September 2019. So I thank you all again for, sorry about that loud noise. That's my hourly chime. It draws my attention to the close of the 1 hour candle. So once again, as I said, the 6 weeks intensive class will be starting off on the 23rd. That will be on next week Monday. If you have anybody that you feel that needs this class, please let the person reach across to me on any of these details listed below, or the person can go to the IG page in the bio. You can either chat with me via WhatsApp or Telegram. So I thank you all for coming once again, and I wish you all a beautiful night's rest and a beautiful trading day ahead. Thank you.